And good evening. My name is Photo Joe, and welcome to the Photo Jam. For the next hour, we're going to talk about photography things, photography tips, photography news, just anything to do with photography, really. Which is a lot of photography in it now. But this is also an opportunity for you to send a post question on anything relating photography, because really this hour is about you. So sit back, grab yourself a drink and get ready for some learning and laughs. It's been a big week. It has been a big week. Welcome everybody. Waiting for people to just kind of log on at the moment. Just keeping an eye on where I need to keep an eye. I need to get my dashboard up here to kind of say, oh yes, here we go. That's how I can see to make sure that we're all okay. Yeah, so we kind of build up every week with something a little bit new, whether it's a grand opening. It's the grand opening of our show. Some of you might have seen yourself out there. Hi, Uncle. Welcome back. 'Tis Thursday night. It is. It's another week. Another week has passed us. We're all kind of getting closer to, I don't know, to more reality, whatever that reality is, whether you go and visit Bunnings a lot, whether you, I don't know. It's just all about, we're going out and mingling. Mingling is an interesting thing, isn't it? It's just all a little bit strange, but welcome to those who are joining us in the Twitch world. Thank you for those of us who will be watching this on YouTube. Some of you were probably going to go to my website, but for some reason, Facebook has kind of done something, so I can't embed the video into the website. So you'd have to be joining me here on Facebook Live, where you can send me a question or just have a listen, just kind of hang back, listen to what I'm going to be talking about tonight. I've got a few things that we're going to talk about. Some Sony information, some Nikon information, some vintage jam information, and just general information. But you know, I've started to get been starting to get slowly questions. People are sending me pictures, they're sending me questions about certain things, because I do want you to do that, because, well, if you don't kind of send me a question, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. So I guess, look, one of the first things that I will bring up today is that just recently, this company here, OMD, or the OM system, has finally done all the paperwork, signed it off, ticked it off, and they have now taken over the Olympus branding of the camera. So pretty much Olympus doesn't exist. Like they exist and they're still out there, right? And there's still plenty of incredibly amazing technology out there. But as new tech comes out, right, they're going to get away from Olympus and they're going to be rebranded as the OM system. Yeah. So as I said, there are still cameras on the market. And look, pretty much what will happen is that while the changeover with a product will coexist, right? So you'll see Olympus, you'll see OMD, and really the OMD wording comes from their original film systems, the OM system. So So the D for digital. While it's still an old name, the Olympus brand, we will see that fade away eventually. And with the new models, we'll see the OM. So Olympus is bought out by the Japanese industrial partners at the start of the year and now oversees the whole Olympus system. So I just wanted to know, I just know that really, even though people are always concerned, oh, hi, Dizzy. People are always concerned about a changeover of a brand. For example, some of you might know Minolta. Minolta got taken over, or their research and development, the mount of their lens was taken over by Sony. So we've seen that flourish, even though the name itself of Minolta is not there anymore. Sorry, I'm just having a look at something there. I've just thought that I got it slightly. Anyway, so the technology, the R&D, the love that Olympus has had from many users, we're going to see that brand flourish. It's going to be better. I mean, and they've got stuff happening. So it'll be interesting times to see what happens with that world. And part of, I guess, that I brought that up was because I got asked the question, what camera do you use? So, well, hey, guess what? I do use the Olympus brand. The reason I used to use that, and I'll just switch that back off. It's what you kind of think you can multitask, and sometimes you just got to kind of work it, right? So that was one of my questions that somebody said, why do what do you use, and why do you use it? So I mean, my old man kind of used Olympus camera, so I guess in a way that was like what was stuck in my head. Though my first camera really was a Minolta, because it was a duty-free purchase that somebody did for me. It was a Minolta XGM, but hey, they weren't around anymore. But Olympus was one of the cameras I used. I then ended up getting a and I was using Olympus system, and compact cameras were, a bit of Casio, a bit of Canon, bits and pieces, because I used to use them through the Paxton's world. But then I ended up getting a Nikon D700, so that was around 2014, I think it was, and I wanted to go full frame, and we're talking about a full frame camera. There's like it was about $3,500 at the time for a full frame camera, which is pretty much what you'll pay today for one as well. The D700, and I wanted to go into a full frame camera because I know that the noise, the high ISOs that I was using, that the Olympus system, the 4/3 system, was struggling a little bit with digital noise. So I was very impressed. Thanks, Craig, if you're out there. To have shown me the Nikon system and that full frame. It was a 12 megapixel camera. Weighs a bloody shit, shitload. It's heavy, right? And I'll talk a little bit about that later. But the camera system itself, it's heavy. So going back to the Olympus system, it just makes a lot more sense in terms of travel. But there are times that I use the full frame. It just depends on the gig that I'm doing. So, and I've also got a Nikon D4 full frame camera as well, which is I think that's around 2015, 2017. A number of compact cameras, a couple of little Fujis, more travel cameras more than anything. And I guess today what I also use is my phone, which it has its limitations. I know it has its limitations, but at the end of the day, hey, it does a mighty good job, as I'm sure that some of you have encountered with phones. And really that's kind of brings me to my first bit of extra news that we saw. I mean, the Olympus thing was like, news like in the last 24 hours, but over the last week, Sony have released a new phone, which is a pretty interesting phone, I've got to say. Now, like, you kind of, the world out there is pretty much, the Samsungs and the iPhones. That's the two kind of areas. But, Sony have been making the Xperia phones for quite a while. If any of you have had any of those Xperias out there, let me know. I'd be kind of curious. But the Xperia's phone, Xperia, they use the Android system. So as far as phones go, you've got the iOS system, which is iPhone, and then you have the Android system, which is everybody else. Samsung, I think I don't think the Google Pixel does use Android. Maybe somebody can tell me. They've got a Google. I'm sure it's Android in the Google Pixel. There's, you know, the Samsungs, the Sonys, all the other brands, right? So Sony, they make a phone. They make a lot of products. They make televisions, they make video cameras, they make phones, they make cameras. And they've always been a company to integrate everything together. And I guess when we look back to their memory stick, the blue memory stick, that memory stick was something that was designed to go into all their products so that they could integrate all their cameras together, or sorry, all their equipment together. Because you could put a memory stick into a microwave oven, right? And that would transfer the information of the cooking to a microwave oven that we never saw here in Australia. So Sony are very much into integrating all their gear together. And so, you know, a phone and a camera, it's all about the connectivity. So connectivity, if you like, my situation here, some of you might have seen my Facebook story today that showed my little setup here. So I have a camera in front of me. That camera is connected into a dongle, which the dongle converts from the camera, the HDMI output, out into a dongle. That dongle converts that video signal into USB that I plug into my computer. And then I have a program in there that does all the fancy kind of switching of cameras, but then it goes through an output to then live stream out. Well, it's not really something that you kind of would be doing on the road, right? So, for example, I mean, the Sony camera here, the big thing about this Sony camera is the fact that it actually has a HDMI connection. And that HDMI connection is great from their alpha cameras. So from their DSLR cameras, they can plug it into the phone, right? And then use the phone. And I have a picture of that because I'm trying to show you a picture of it here, just like that. It has a situation where I can connect the camera to the phone, and then I can use the phone as a monitor screen. Now, not only can I use the phone as a monitor screen, but I can then 5G live stream from the phone itself. So the workflow of a live streamer who's out on the field, who needs to, okay, I've got my SLR camera, the screens are a bit small, so he can mount, as you can see on the shot here, the phone's mounted on top of the camera itself. They can view the shots and then hit the live stream button, and away it goes. So the Xperia Pro camera, this is the cool part, is this whole live stream world, especially for a lot of people now who are getting into this movie making world, right? So the workflow, it's just, you know, this is one of the things about this phone, especially for an alpha user. So Sony alpha people, Sony alpha camera is a full frame mirrorless camera. And again, it's just all about trying to get that workflow in there together. So the Xperia Pro, it can stream video content from a camera connected via the HDMI input. Now, the camera itself actually has some pretty kind of, oh, that's the wrong one. Well, that's the wrong one. I think it was meant to be, no, that's me gone. Oh, it's meant to be that one. That's the one. Almost there. One of the things that Sony have actually married themselves with a lens company. So years ago, they started off with Zeiss. Now, Zeiss is a German company. They make lenses. They used to make cameras, but their specialty is lenses. Like Leica, you got Zeiss, Carl Zeiss. So Sony went in, and they were an electronics company, and they wanted to have a brand name on the front of their electronics, and Zeiss was someone who came on board with them. So the camera itself has Zeiss lenses. Now, if you've had a Sony camera in your life before, from compact cameras to obviously the larger mirrorless today, they use Zeiss optics. Now, the Zeiss optics on the camera itself is calibrated for the phone. So, you know, this is the thing about lenses. Lenses are they're almost like a mass production world where some companies make lenses and sell them to different companies, right? So with Zeiss, what they've done for this camera is they've designed the lens specifically for the camera. So it's not just a mass-produced, I was going to say iPhone lens. I don't know. I don't think that's iPhone lenses. But hey, you know, who makes an iPhone lens? It's a very good, high-quality Japanese product anyway. So Zeiss optics. Now, if you ever look around at Zeiss, you'll see that Zeiss have a certain branding called the T format, which you might see on the picture up there. And it's a coating that they have on their top-end lenses. Okay, then. And as the blurb says, it's it contributes to exquisite rendering and contrast by reducing the reflections for true creative freedom. God, I remembered that. Anyway, so pretty much the thing is that lenses, you know, there's so much in lenses. I mean, think about the movies that we watch on our big screens, right? Or when we're at the movies, the clarity, the color, the detail. That's all, you know, it's all captured by the lens. And the lens technology has really certainly changed over the years. And, you know, for a company like Zeiss to put their name onto something that is not Zeiss, you know, they're going to make sure that what they're matching up is right. Now, lenses, there are some unique lenses from years gone past. I mean, there are people out there who use old lenses on their new cameras today because the lens had a certain feel about them, especially the fixed lenses. So not the zoom lenses as much as the fixed lenses. They have some beautiful clarity sometimes. I mean, actually, I have an app on my phone. It's called Focus, Focus, I think it is, or Focus OS at the end, and it actually has a range of lenses in there. So I take a picture with my smartphone, and then I can actually, it's like filters really, but I can actually add a certain lens feel to that shot. And we're talking from Zeiss lenses to Leica lenses to Olympus lenses to quite a number of lenses throughout the years. So throughout the years, throughout the lifetime, I meant to say. So, you know, lenses do have quite a lot behind them, right? Now, the Xperia Pro has 3 lenses, as you can see. There's a 16mm in terms of normal, normal 35mm conversation in terms of wide angle. Full frame is what I'm trying to say. So there's a 16mm wide angle, a 24mm, and the 24mm is the T lens, and then a 70mm, which is just a short zoom, you know, nice for portraits, etc. But the cool thing about this, as I flick over to this, is that it's the first smartphone, right? It's the first smartphone that actually uses the 1-inch XMOR image sensor. So the camera, the camera itself is actually using the sensor out of a compact camera known as the Sony Rx Mark IV. Now, I had the Mark I, and it's a compact camera. It rocks. It rocks. That's the camera looked like that. That's the camera. That's the Mark IV. I have the Mark I, which has no viewfinder. I think we're about the Mark VII now. So the sensor in that, which is a way awesome sensor, is now in the camera. The advantage of having the 1-inch sensor also is that it's really good in low light. So its low light performance is mega cool. And also the bokeh, right? So, you know, that blurry background that you get using, nice low aperture lenses. And on this camera, on the Olympus, on the Sony, it's a 2.4 f-stop on that middle lens. So on a huge sensor, it's, you know, I think it's going to be a mad actual phone. It's and you know, and that sensor has also been optimized for the smartphone. So and again, it's, you know, the lens is designed for that camera, for that sensor, but the electronics as well is also tailored for that whole combination. It's not just about slapping on, you know, a 1-inch sensor and slapping on a lens and then go, here we go, here's $2,500 worth of phone. There's a lot more to it. And that Beyond X, as you see there, that's really what the computer inside the phone itself. You know, it's like Windows, from Windows 10 up to Windows. Oh no, we are on Windows 10. From Windows XP to Windows ME to all those updates of the computer itself. So I think this phone is going to be pretty kind of awesome, actually. Low light shooting, it's something that I'm very excited in. I do love the idea of also the fact that it's a 1-inch sensor, and I actually have shot with a camera like that, the Mark I, the Sony, which was a shot that I ended up utilizing for the baby animals. So I'm just thinking about a camera that I used in 2013, I think it was. Bang, took the shot. Now I could do the same with the phone, right? In the same situation, I could take the same shot. I'd be very, and you know, I think it'd almost be a slightly better shot as well, because the technology is obviously has improved so many years. Hello everybody out there. We're running here 21 minutes into the show. I hope you're all kind of at least getting into it. Oh, okay. I was going to go somewhere else, but I'll do that. So a Sony phone. Anyway, interesting. If anybody does actually have a Sony Xperia phone, let me know. Am I saying it right? Am I saying it wrong? I don't know. Let me have a quick little lubrication or drink here. I haven't had my haircut yet. No, I haven't had my haircut yet. Oh, that was something I wanted to do. I'm going to just have a little interactiveness that I was trying to do last week. And I'm going to just set a poll up here. So the poll is, I'm going to activate a poll. What's going to be your next purchase? I think I've activated it. Yes. What's going to be your next purchase? Is it going to be a camera and a lens? Is it just the body? Just a lens or some accessories? Just kind of curious, about the poll with that. And I'm also going to just open a question. I think I'm going to open it like that. It's called, what's the struggle in your photography? Now, I'm going to assume that you can see that, and you'll see that. If you do, answer the question. That will be really good. I'll then kind of know that there are people listening out there or talking, or yes. So as I do that, I just have to go, I'm just adjusting things so I can kind of see what I might just leave. I don't know. Hang on, let me just see. I guess that's what producers are all about. They are the producers. Oh, comments. Here we go. I just want to make sure I can see everybody talking to me. That's all I want to make sure. And if you want to do likes and all that kind of stuff, please do that too, because I kind of, oh, hello. Oh, I'm going to open up another question as well. It's called, what bugs you about technology? So if you're kind of thinking about, here's a question, I might just get you to answer that question as well. Questions. I had a mate of mine actually send me through the week a lens that he thought, oh, I think I need to buy this lens. It's a Nikon D7200 he has. And so he saw this lens and he saw, oh, hey, Joe, talk to me about this Nikon DX, because he knew that the DX is for the smaller sensor cameras, right? Oh, sorry, I just have to go back here again. My apologies, folks, because I do have to make sure we're running here. That's cool. What was I saying? Oh, yes. He has a 7200, and oh, yes. So he sent me the details. It was a Nikon ZDX 18-140 f3.5 to 6.3 VR. Now he kind of went, man, that's a lot of numbers and that's a lot of letters, but I know that if I kind of multiply 18 by 1.6, that gives me 27, which brings it up to full frame. We always talk about full frame numbers. We want to always, you know, we want to know, okay, it's this wide. Now, when you have different cameras, they have different numbers. And so I just want to say, let's bring us all back to full frame. Full frame is film. So if you had a film camera and you had a 50mm lens, then we're talking about that number. And if it was 28, it would be wider. And if it was 100, it would be closer. Yeah. So the Nikons, the DX lenses, they're an 18-140, right? So that's the equivalent to like a 27-210 in the old talk or in the full frame talk, which is great. You know, what a great lens to have to just you know, from wide angles, from nice wide angles or streetscapes to telephotos, right? And when you do the telephoto, you get the really nice blurred background because, you know, you're going to get that at 210. So and actually the particular lens itself, this particular one even has a macro style setup. So when you're at the wide angle, you can get in as close as 20 centimeters, which is actually pretty good. And when you're at the 210, at the full end, you can get as close as 40 centimeters. So it's a pretty great overall lens, which was around the $600. But the thing was, it didn't suit his 7200. So the key, and he went, oh, but what? And it was the Z in the lens that actually kind of made it, oh, hello, it's not for my camera. It is for this camera, because Nikon's have a Z series. Now, the Z series cameras are the mirrorless cameras, and doesn't that look just like a old school camera? This is interesting how, you know, a lot of when the cameras first came out, they were a bit space age, and then they started to make them SLR looking, but then they're starting to make them look SLR old school retro looking, right? So here we have mirrorless camera, looks like an SLR, and that was the thing. I guess that was the thing about cameras originally, is that people felt comfortable using an SLR camera. So when digital cameras came in, they had to feel like the same. We didn't really want to change from that. It didn't really, I mean, and some of us still have that problem. I know there's some of you out there that's probably listening, and it's kind of going, oh, hello, I like to use just a street camera. I wouldn't call it a street camera, but, you know, just like not an SLR camera, right? A rangefinder camera, if that was the word I was looking for. So, you know, but some of us wanted to have that SLR feel. And then, you know, at the end of the day, we are fickle humans, or us humans can be quite fickle, and we don't mind the way things look. And when things look old school, do I look old school with my haircut or lack of haircut? You know, when you look at old school, hey, it looks nice. You know, we want a camera that people kind of say, hey, nice camera, must take cool pictures, huh? Heard that line before. But here we have, it's a mirrorless camera from Nikon. Boy, they were late in the scene, right? Nikon and Canon, they were pretty late. Everybody else got in here way earlier. And so they kind of got this 20 megapixel DX sensor, right? So, small sensor, not the full frame sensor. And if you want to put DX lenses on it, you gotta kind of get an adapter. And that's not really handy, right? So this lens is made so it just goes straight onto the camera. The adapters, they make the cameras a bit bulky. If you've got, I know some of you have got cameras. I think if you're still there, Dizzy, I know you've got an adapter for your full frame, for your mirrorless camera, to make that fit on there. And I know that you're putting a full frame lens on that sensor as well, on your camera as well. But anyway, I digress. So this camera here, known as the what's it called? It's called an FX. I've gone blank. It's called the Z camera. Oh, sorry, the Z50, and there's the ZFC. That's the FC. So 20 megapixel. It has, yes, Dizzy, thank you. It has the Xpeed 6 processor. Now, you know, they have to give their processors names. Xpeed 1 is where we use, this is the computer inside. It's not about how many pixels. In fact, it's, you know, it's more than that. It's the computer, it's the lens, it's the computer. That's, you know, it's all about that gives you this quality that we're after. It's got UHD 4K video. Every camera is now doing video. The bloggers are going crazy out there because you get that really nice blurry background in your videos. Full HD video recording in 4K. It can record in 30 frames a second, so it's nice and smooth. That's what 30 frames a second does. But it also records not in 4K, but in full HD, which is full HD. You're probably watching your TV on a full HD TV, but it does it at 120 frames a second. And when you're using higher frames, like 120 frames, you can then create a slow motion effect. So that's kind of cool with cameras today. For slow motion, our smartphones are doing that, but to do it on a camera like that, really schmicky. The back of the screen, these Oled screens, which are used on phones as well. We've seen Oled screens on cameras for a while. 2.36 million dots. So that's high definition, good to watch outside. It's a 3-inch screen. It's a touch screen, as most cameras now. Sony's aren't touch screen in a lot of their settings. Weird. It goes from ISO 100 to 51,000. 51,200 ISO at 11 frames a second. So it's pretty kind of quick in pretty low light situations. But it gets so incredibly low. You can get an extension ISO where it's kind of, it's made up in the computer because it's big computer of 204,800 ISO. 204,000 ISO, not 3,200 or 6,400. 204,800. They call it extended ISO. Wild. Not at 11 frames a second, I would assume, but if you want to get those ghosts when you're coming to do a workshop, we'll talk about that in a while. That might be the camera you'll need to have. 209 points of focus. So there's, in the old days, there was one focus point. Then we had 3 focus points. Now we've got 209 points. So whatever lands in that screen, in those 209 points, that's where it'll focus on, including also eye detection too. So it recognizes the eye. Does built-in time-lapse. Most things do now. Built-in Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, that's for the whole connectivity to your phone. And it's also using USB Type-C now. So the USB Type-C, it is the winner. A lot of the products are now, it's a bit of a standardization, a worldwide standardization. You had the iPhone, they had the lightning plugs, and then there was other plugs. So USB-C is the one that's the standardized connection. USB-C has a lot of, apart from just power, there's a lot of information, such as sending information to your computer or back to a phone. There's a lot of connectivity that happens with USB, and it's quick. So, the Nikon, it's kind of the big thing that you got to get, So, hey, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you need to get all this gear? I mean, isn't that going to make you like the super duper photographer? Your quality of level is going to just go through. I'm going to spend my $6,000 and or my my $500,000 lens that I could have bought if I'd only just decided to go one more bet from a couple of weeks ago. And I guess that's the thing, we get all this gear. We need to get the gear, right? We see it, man, I need to get that piece of gear. Now, look, I used to fall for it. I mean, I used to work in the place, right? So I used to kind of go, oh, I need that, right? If I was getting into low light stuff, if I was going to landscape stuff, I just needed that gear. And I remember when I first bought my first 24-70 lens for my Nikon D7 for my D700. So it's part of this holy trinity of lenses. So that Nikon have a 12 to 24, a 24 to 70, and a 70 to 200. So I start off with the 24 to 70, got the 70 to 200, and still kind of waiting on the 12 to 24. But who knows? I know I can borrow one. But the thing was, it's a mad lens. I paid a lot of bloody money for it, right? Now, the lens that I replaced it with was a Tamron 28 to 75. It was like a $700 lens, right? And I used that lens to death. And I've got to say, some of the shots that came out of that was awesome. So can I say that, this $3,000 lens made all my shots, from $700 lens to $3,000 lens? Was it that much difference in quality by buying? Now, look, the Nikon lens, it's an awesome lens. There are the thing about the Nikon lens is that it just focus, bang, sharp, bang, bang. The Tamron was a little bit slow, right? But the quality of the images I couldn't say that there was like, $2,000 difference, $2,500 difference in there. And I guess that's part of the whole thing. Yeah. So, it's why Canon and Nikon and Sony and all the others, they spend millions of dollars on gear launches. I mean, the message is clear that people love going to the shops and to the sites to get the latest and greatest bit of camera gear, right? Kind of the only slight problem is that it's all kind of rubbish, really. I mean, no piece of gear is really just going to suddenly launch you into the photographic heights of quality, right? But, I mean, my new lens was awesome, but I can't say that the results were that hugely different financially, yeah? I mean, sure, there's occasionally you're going to need a piece of gear that is specifically for that outcome. But, the heavy lifter in getting, a photograph really comes from the skill of using it, yeah? So learning how to use it is really going to make or break. And look, for years, I've taught lots of people who, I rock up and they've got the gear, and as they say, man, I got the gear, but I got no idea, right? And I guess that was all part of the, that was part of the deal where, people, they were so caught up. They had the cash, but they were so caught up in what they were able to purchase that they just thought, oh, bang, as soon as I just point, oh, hang on, this camera doesn't have automatic. I need to kind of, know what to do with it. So I guess, it's interesting. The funny things is that, as you learn more, right, as you learn that with the gear that you've got, it gives you the skill and also the understanding of what you'll actually need, what you actually need to get. And look, and trust me, there are times where you think you want to be getting a lot of stuff and, you don't. You don't actually really need it. You just more kind of want it more than anything. Yeah. So, trust me, it is about learning how to use it. So if you've got tons of gear out there, don't go ballistic and kind of want to go and buy more. See what the limitations are to what you've already got. All right. So let's come back after this little break here. We'll continue on, hey? Well, what a great segue that was. Well, we're doing it finally. Woo! Getting out on the streets out there. There was one of the workshops that I've run in the past, and we got way more coming. We got way more coming. 21st of November. 21st of November. Here's some of my group there. I got my grungy graffiti walk around Marrickville. The grungy graffiti. It's been a popular little one, this one here. We kind of go around the streets of Marrickville. It's got some really cool areas there, all those textures and all those colours, which are just in abundance in the area. And, Marrickville just has so many little hidden gems to photograph. And pretty much we combine the rules of the streetscape with a close-up. For pretty much an easy to digest understanding of exposure basics in the one session. And that's really what I try and get out of the session. There's so much, we kind of always end up going over a little bit. It's kind of a little bit weird. Now this is on the 21st of November. Somebody's birthday on that day as well. So if you come on this session, we might have to have a little birthday cake thing going on there. We'll see who that birthday could be. Could be somebody or maybe, I don't know, maybe a Marie, maybe. I don't know. But hey, what has happened in the past there is that we've had some glorious light in that time of the afternoon, which really just enhances the visions. And even if we don't get like massive sun, if we get a grey day, we get some awesome shots out of it as well. And that's really about how my sessions work, is that they can be organic. So if it's like mega sun, beautiful color, then we utilize the colors. But if it's a bit of a grey feature, then we'll turn it into a mono type of shoot, yeah? So that's kind of how we run, how I've run that session in the past before. It's been very kind of cool. We've seen some, let me have a look. Oh, that's that one there. I was going to show, oh, there we are. More pictures, more graffiti pictures there. And this is the thing, even if you've been, you're going to learn more, because I'm taking a different route next time as well. And, there's so many things, so many hidden features in your camera or in your phone. Because, if you have a phone, you can use your phone. You might have already, you might have already come in with your camera, but maybe you got yourself a smart little, new phone. You want to learn how to use that a bit more, because you're not always going to have your 100 to 400, but you might. So that's something that, oh, hello, someone's in. Woo-hoo! Bring your phone. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. So if you're kind of listening to this from any of my other, YouTube or on Twitch, or maybe you're watching this later, because hopefully this will work on my website, because I couldn't embed it live. It was a bit weird. Into my website. You can get in touch with me. And if you get a ticket, just get yourself a ticket. I'll get in touch with you in 24 hours and contact you where we're going to meet and what you need to bring, right? So that's on the 21st, which is a Sunday afternoon. But on what day? On the 14th of November. I got my night photography one. Now, this has also been a popular one in the past before. Going around the rocks, going to new areas in the rocks, not the same areas, new areas, dark areas. Who knows? We might find a ghost. We might not. I don't know. We'll just go out there and we'll just find really dark areas. Oh, hello. I'm supposed to show you a picture. There we go. Night stuff. There we go. Night. There's people with their tripods. You don't have to have a tripod. You might want to use your phone. It depends on how dark it gets. Depends on what kind of phone you've got. You might have to use a tripod. I mean, look at that. That was taken by one of my students, right? Sue, no, you're not on Facebook, so you wouldn't be watching this, but you might watch it another time. This one's taken by, who was that? That was Jasmine. Jasmine's photo. Look at that. That's a cool photo. Yeah, that's a nice little back area there, just behind there. We're going to go into those little behind areas, right? So the aim of this workshop is to get you to understand the basics and fundamentals of just low light photography, with and without a tripod. That's really the key to what this session is all about. And, with that also, all those hidden secrets in your camera's menu that you probably didn't even know about, just to kind of get you to getting that photo quicker. Right? Because sometimes you kind of, you want to do a certain type of shot, and then all of a sudden, you're new to your camera, or you don't go meddling too much in your camera. If you do, that's awesome. Because if you do, just make sure you know where the reset button is, and unless you kind of press a button, just in case you press a button that really, not screws up your camera, but just locks certain things out. So, but, I might kind of find an area that, it all depends. As you know, everybody's different. Everybody's learning is different. So we kind of start very basic. And then some of you, I'll just kind of talk to you and just go, hey, did you know on your camera you can do that? Right. So that's part of the whole thing. Tell your friends about it. Share those events for me. That'd be really nice. And just kind of tell them how you've already been to it. So get in touch. Same again. Just buy a ticket, right? And I'll just get in touch with you. 24 hours. And I'll contact you with some information about what to bring, or if you're not even really sure about what to bring. Yeah. So that's the workshops. There's something coming in December as well. There could be a bit of a fire situation going. I'm just trying to find the place to do it at. So there'll be another one in December. I'm hoping that if you're on my site and you've probably read a poll or a question, I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that that's all working. Let me go. There's a tab here. It's called interactivity. Interactivity. Oh, can't even get to say it right. That's interesting. I have opened. Have I opened? Oh, no responses. Okay, maybe because I'll open the cards again. I don't know. Oh, closed. Why is that closed? It's open. Oh, I think I know why. I think I can only run one question at a time. Whoopsies. All right, so you probably see that question coming up. And if the poll is still there, what's my poll? My poll is what is the, oh, there was nothing there as well. So I'll just reopen that poll because I just want to see if things work. I'm just playing here. I'm just playing. I'm playing. I'm hoping you're having a good time. A little bit of a lubricational drink here. I could give you a commercial break here, but I don't have one for this shot. So I think it's now time for. I need music for this part. The Vintage Jam. The Vintage Jam. Every week, I'll talk about something off the back shelf there. Off the back shelf, it's something. I might have something here around the front shelf because I've got stuff here as well that didn't fit over there, but I go around. And look, if anybody would like to send me photos of their camera, I could even, or send me the camera. I'll put it up on the shelf and take a picture of it. You can donate it. I don't know. Am I just being cheeky about that? I mean, probably. But anyway, so today's vintage camera. Today's vintage camera, as I get ready to move it over, is the Kodak Box Brownie. Once again, I bring to you, to the table, the Box Brownie. But you know, this is not just any Box Brownie. This is the particular Box Brownie that was purchased in 1956. I know the story behind this particular between this camera here. Let me just have a look that I have another shot here. Do I have another shot there? Oh, no, not that one yet. Oh, yes, here we go. I'll just show more pictures. That's what I'm trying to do. I'll start from there. There we go. That's the side view. So this camera here actually belongs to Marie Chanel's dad. Marie Chanel, you know, my wife. Top girl. She's a great model too. So her dad got this for his birthday. Now, he's 86. He's 86, right? I think so. She's not listening. That's okay. Oh, yes, she is listening. He is 86. I always get that wrong. The guy's a legend, right? The guy's a legend. So he said, hey, have this camera here. So yeah, I've got to say, the box cameras are probably without doubt the single longest line of a particular type of camera ever produced, right? They started in 1900, right? And they went until 1962, right? And this one here, this is the Kodak Box Brownie 620 Model D, right? Which is considered to be one of the more modern box cameras, right? So, and it's really styled. It's really bloody sexy, actually. Oh, that's not the picture. I should do this slightly different, but I'm just going to go back to that shot. That's a sexy looking camera, right? Now, as such as it's styled to look like, you know, it's so wonderful, it was still aimed at the lower end of the market, right? So it had minimal controls, but it was promised a frame size of a 6x9 centimeter. Okay, then so in terms of the size of the film, which I'll talk a little bit more about that. What's really, there's something that's really cool. I mean, on the side of the oh, not that one there. On the side of the camera, if I show you the picture of the side there, so you've got your little, you can see over here, there's the little viewfinder. So as you hold the camera in front of you, you're looking down the viewfinder, and that's what you see. And on the side here, or just there, you'll see it's got close-up. Actually, if I hold the camera here, I can actually then see it myself. Oh, it's got a B and a 1, and it's got close-up, right? And so the whole idea of the camera itself, I mean, apart from the quality, which is pretty kind of cool, the camera itself, well, actually, look, the 620, and the 620, funny, we should ask this question. 620 is the 620 is the film that they used to use. It shoots on 620 film, so 620, the Model D. These cameras were produced from 1946. Yes, from memory. But yes, but what I wanted to show was that little button on the side that says close up. When I show, I'm not showing you that one. I've disappeared. Here we go. That's what I want to show you. Is that little video there? So that's me just kind of pulling that lever out, right? And what that's doing, there's it's what they call a meniscal lens, I think it was. What was it again? I'm just trying to remember. It was called, oh, bugger. I've gone, oh, yes, a meniscus lens. I try to remember what it was called. So basically, the whole idea is that lens there was for like things that were further away or closer. So when you had it in the normal setting itself, right, it would be for things that were like 10 feet and above. But when you had it on the close-up, it was things that were from about 5 to 10 feet. So a bit of a close-up setting. Now, the thing was, the film itself, and I guess I'll just show you on the back here, and that's where I'll now do this, because then I can do a close-up. So you can tell me if that close-up works well, right? So the film itself, okay, so this box comes out like that, right? And so there's a leader part of the film spool, one of the film spools, right? So that kind of goes into there. And then your new film will come into here, and I'm just making sure you can see that. It goes into here and it wraps around over and then back here, okay? And then when it's in the camera itself, you then turn the spool, and that then turns the film through. Now, 620 film, right? Or a 6 by the 6 means that the film was actually 6 centimeters wide. Okay, let's just get that right. 6 centimeters wide. Now, there's actually a number of different types of film. 120 film gives you a 6 by 4.5, a 6 by 6. So if it's a 6 by 6, it's actually like a square shape. This is a 6 by 7, so it's more rectangular in shape. You can then you can do like a 6 by, actually sorry, this is a 6 by 9. So 6 this way and 9 centimeters this way. So a nice big wide negative. And that's the thing about big negatives, big sensors, is that you get a huge amount of detail and quality out of a big sensor. I do believe I have some 620, well, you still can actually get 620 film, and I'm going to see if I can roll some up and take pictures with that, because that would be really, really cool. So, so that I've just totally confused you with that film again, I'll just run through that process again. So the camera shoots 620 film. That's what the film is called, which is a 120 medium format film. It exposes 6 by 9 centimeter pictures, and you get about 8 shots out of the one roll. That's pretty much the situation. There are cameras that are 645s, 6 by 7, 6 by 9s, and a panoramic, a 6 by 17. So the bigger the number, the bigger the film. Same disc, the same width, which is 6 centimeters, and then it's just the width. So obviously a 6 by 17 would be quite a large camera. And in fact, I've had one of those cameras, but I've never actually run a roll of film through it. So, so film is still available for that. And, you know, the lens, I mean, that's the beauty about the camera, is that the lens is still incredibly clean. The camera is so beautifully kept because, well, he kept it in the case and the whole situation. Oh, that was another thing about this camera as well. There's 2 points, because with this one here, you'll see that there's 2 points there. And that was for an extra flash attachment. So I'm trying to find out how that connected up, but somehow there was a connection to that, and you would have to hold a flash, yeah? So just other things about this camera here. So we've got our those 2 knobs there, or they're more for your strap. So you would have one strap there, and where would the other strap be? The other strap. Oh, actually, I guess they would just sit like this, like that. Let's try that. Yep. We have the portrait viewfinder on the top there, and we have the landscape portrait on there. So if you're taking a shot in landscape mode, and they're the lenses here, right? So that lens there is what's looking out of there, and that lens there is what's looking out of there. Yeah. On the side there, as I said, we've got our meniscal lens attachment, and there's also it's shot at 1/40th of a second, or I could have it in a B setting to keep the camera open. The shutter is down the bottom here, so that's the shutter. Okay then, and even though I can't put a cable release into it for the B setting, it was one that actually had a tripod mount, so at least you could put it onto a tripod and then actually just hold the button open for as long as you wanted to get your exposure. The box Brownie camera, I've got to say, box Brownie cameras, just one of those things that you kind of think, there's so many of them that were made, that's a beautiful, oh, hang on, I'm just trying, oh, we still have that. A beautiful, not reproduction, a version of it. Very clean indeed. I like the idea of using a camera down like this, looking down when I was taking the picture, as you saw a bit earlier. Just taking that picture, actually, I'll just show you that picture that I did there before, which was that one there. To be able to see, that's my backyard there. It was just so cool. I just love the old school of this, right? And, you're holding it to your chest, so you're keeping the camera steady. Not that it was hugely an issue, because the lens itself was still kind of probably about a 40mm lens. So yeah, it had quite a wide angle world to it. So what other things were there? Look how beautiful the front of that. Look at the front of that. Oh, I need to bring my close-up camera number 2. Isn't that beautiful? It's just so old school. I just love it. And it's just like a face, isn't it? It's just like some kind of face. What would you say it was a kind of face? It was some kind of face. So yes, old school. I love the mechanics of it. The little red window at the back. The little red window. You can see the number on the back there, and you just turn the dial. I just love that old. It reminds me of when my first camera, my Helena, which I'll bring out one day again. It was just, I don't know. There's just something magical about a camera like that. That camera's about 510 grams. Not very heavy. Almost like a phone camera today, isn't it? But yes. So there we have it. I have managed 57 minutes and 42 seconds of constant conversation, not even knowing if people are out there anymore, because my whole screen in front of me, I can't tell. That's where a producer would be sitting there and going like this or going like that, because it might not be kind of anybody listening though, but who knows? Who cares? I'm having a lot of fun here. I'd like to say thank you once again for those of you. I can see there are some of you actually out there. Thanks for joining. We're going to do this again next Thursday. Send those questions in. Send those comments in. Send any of those things in. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might want. You do need to come to one of those workshops though. Just buy a ticket at smarterdigital.com.au /bookings, and that'll take you straight to, or actually you just go to smarterdigital.com.au. It's right there on the front page. You just get them straight there on the front page. So from me, have a safe weekend. Who knows? For next week, I might get a haircut. I was getting this little tail at the back here. I'm kind of thinking it's interesting. The tail's looking interesting. I don't know. Oh, hang on. Maybe it's a bit hard to tell with that screen on the back there. Maybe like that. You can see there's a bit of a tail going on. But anyway, I'd like to say thank you for being here tonight. And I'll see you next week, 8 o'clock. Bye.